Right now on the National Weather Desk, Midwestern flooding. A home collapsing into a raging river as rising water continues to take a toll. Plus, a new severe weather threat across multiple states, and trouble could be brewing in the tropics.
Warm enough, so we're watching this area. 40 to 70% chance of development with that wave.
Deadly rip currents. 8 people die in just a few days. Do you know what to do to stay safe?
Stay calm. Try and signal lifeguards.
Plus a look at the other dangers lurking below the surface.
This wash zone is so dynamic.
Multiple wildfires are burning across California. See the efforts to get them under control. And your lawn probably does not like the extreme heat. We have advice from the experts.
From our nation's capital, this is the National Weather Desk.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the National Weather Desk. I'm Angela Brown. Flood warnings continue for many rivers across the Midwest today as the region reels from this week's historic flooding. The Mississippi River in St. Paul is expected to crest Saturday afternoon at just under 21 feet. Now, flood stage is 14 feet, and with strong to severe storms expected tomorrow, more localized flash flooding is once again possible. And now to the partial breach of the Rapidan Dam in Minnesota. It took another victim yesterday. Just look at this. A home sitting 600 feet from the dam collapsed into the Blue Earth River. The homeowners have been there for 44 years. They also own a store which is now 15 feet from the edge of that cliff. And sadly, like many people affected by the flooding, the owner does not have insurance to cover the cost of rebuilding. Further downstream, the flooding continues in Iowa. The Cedar River is now expected to crest at more than 14 feet on Saturday. Minor flood stage is 12 feet. Many parks are closing as a precaution, including a campground in Evansdale. But Sturgis Fall, a celebration in Cedar Rapids, is expected to go on this weekend. Overnight storms left a mark on New England. This is Worcester and central Massachusetts, where heavy rain led to flash flooding. Drivers who tried to drive through all of this high water got stuck with water. You can see it there up to their doors. That same system brought heavy winds to portions of Rhode Island. This morning, trees and debris covered roads and even yards. Many power lines also snapped. So far, though, fortunately, there are no reports of any injuries. Most of New England will not see severe weather today, but large sections of the country are under threat. The orange, you're looking at right here, that orange area in the middle of the country has the highest risk, a 3 out of 5. The yellow is a 2 out of 5. So what can they expect? Maybe 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts, large hail, and a few tornadoes are possible. Severe storms are also possible in the southeast, so stay weather aware today. And we are also tracking the tropics for you as well this morning. We are nearly 1 month into what is supposed to be a very active hurricane season. We've had just one named storm, though, so far, but that could change in the coming days. Florida meteorologist Lauren Oleski is tracking 2 areas of interest.
One in the southwest Caribbean right now, moving off towards the northeast. Might see some development when it crosses over the Yucatan there. 10 to 20% development chance. Nothing that we really need to be concerned with. This will bring some heavy rain likely to parts of Mexico. And then this other wave that we have out in the eastern Atlantic right now. We typically don't look at this part of the ocean this time of year. Usually, this is the MDR. We watch this during the peak of the season, August, September, October. But the water's warm enough, so we're watching this area. 40 to 70% chance of development with that wave. We could see a depression forming here sometime over the weekend. I'm going to put some computer models on this. Lots of agreement that we'll see this moving off towards the west, likely staying well south of Cuba, but this is still over a week away. So a lot of this could still continue to change. We'll keep monitoring these models and we'll see the trends that they do. Maybe it moves further north or further south. I'm not overly concerned with this directly impacting us in any major way right now. I'll keep you posted on it.
And the past few days have been deadly at Florida beaches. At least 8 people are dead after getting caught up in rip currents. The fast channels of water can overpower even strong swimmers in just in seconds. Here's a closer look at the recent fatalities and how to stay safe.
It's extremely important that you know the forecast before you go to the beach. If it's a red flag day, you really shouldn't be in the water.
Watching these tragedies unfold is Karen Cohn, a Connecticut mom living with the pain of losing her child in the water.
We lost our 6-year-old son, Zachary, in a pool drain entrapment in our backyard pool.
Loss that led Karen and her husband to start the Zach Foundation, partnering with the Boys and Girls Club.
We have worked with them to try and target the populations that that have the highest drowning rates.
Running ZAC camps for young children nationwide, teaching water safety basics, including what to do in a rip current.
You're going to swim parallel to shore and not swim against those rip tides.
Noah Jinks describes how to escape a rip current, stay afloat, yell for help, swim parallel to the shore, do not exhaust yourself fighting the current. Karen has one more piece of advice.
What we're trying to encourage families is to make sure that when they go to open water, that they are swimming where lifeguards are located.
Roughly 100 people drown from rip currents each year, according to the U.S. Life Saving Association. And now to the wildfires burning in California. Los Angeles County firefighters are battling a growing brush fire in the Antelope Valley. It's named the Columbia Fire and has burned at least 75 acres so far. As of right now, though, no evacuations have been ordered. There are also fires burning further north near Fresno. Sofia Lesios has that part of the story.
It's a race against time, as more than 1,500 firefighters are working around the clock to keep these flames from spreading.
One of the things that we want to ensure is that the public is first, and the priority of the people who we protect are first. 3 fires, Bolt, Flash, and Hog, sparked by lightning Monday. 2 of those still burning strong. With evacuation orders and warnings in place, fire crews say many still haven't left their homes, and Fresno County Sheriff John Zanoni is hoping they reconsider.
The order is given because we are concerned about your safety. That means that there's a good chance that the fire is going to burn through the area and could burn your property and your structure.
And that it is important to get out because we don't want anybody to lose their life in a fire.
Operations expanded Wednesday, bringing more resources and more firefighters. But if you hope to watch crews battle it out, make sure you're not in their way.
We can't help you if we can't get into the areas, or if you are becoming a hindrance and a roadblock for our own apparatus.
Please be patient. Please move out of the way. Please do your best to help them get to the fire. So hopefully we can get this fire under control here in the coming days and we can return life to somewhat normal.
It's been pretty hot and dry in the Washington, D.C. area lately, and despite recent rain, lawns are still feeling the impact. Meteorologist Veronica Johnson spoke with an expert to find out how to care for our lawns during a drought.
A few days of high heat may be just fine for your lawn, but a prolonged heat wave coupled with a drought can really start to take its toll. Your grass, in fact, will grow at a slower rate due to the lack of moisture.
The grass plant is naturally going to go dormant.
Mike Gottlieb at Virginia Tech has a recommendation he says many people may not want to hear.
When you notice that the grass is really shutting down, put that mower away for a while and wait for growing conditions to return. When you really have to mow it, yeah, I want to see you cutting that grass, following what we call the 1/3 rule, never remove more than 1/3 of the leaf blade. But under these conditions, it actually is best to put the mower away.
Our lawns, on average, need about 1 inch of rainfall or water, and we definitely haven't received that. It's been one of the driest Junes on record. So how much should you water and when should you water?
As early in the morning as you possibly can. If you're blessed with an automatic irrigation system, I'd set it to come on about the time that the sun is coming up or just before. 2 reasons for this. First is we're trying to minimize the period of leaf wetness, because the longer that our leaves stay moist, we've got a lot of fungal spores out there, a lot of potential disease-causing agents that absolutely love those conditions. The other reason would be to take advantage of less evaporation loss of the water that you are applying.
Gottlieb recommends when your lawn is under stressful conditions with heat or drought, just try to keep traffic to a minimum.
And check out this video from meteorologist Brent Kearney. He was swimming in the waters off Pensacola when he came into contact with this pod of dolphins. Now, Pensacola is known as a great location for spotting and swimming with dolphins. They are the most active from sunrise until mid-morning when they are looking for food. As you can see, they seem pretty comfortable and did not mind Brent joining their swimming group. And coming up on the National Weather Desk, have you ever heard of a swash zone? We'll explain what it is and why it can make swimming at the beach simply so dangerous. And we're going to also show you why mosquito numbers are exploding in the Midwest.
I'm meteorologist Charlie Lopresti with a look at the Northeast. 80s will be common for highs today. A few spots in New York, northern Vermont, New Hampshire. Your candidates for some 70s. Overall, the forecast is looking pretty good. Any leftover rain from last night, that is making its way off to the east. To look for a developing sun. There may be a brief shower in northern New England and also back into New York. As we go into our Friday, this is 5 o'clock in the morning. The reason I want to stop it here, it's chilly. 40s and 50s for early morning lows. We should have highs in the 70s with full sun to end out the week.
I'm meteorologist Jasmine Lomax with a look at the mid-Atlantic region. There's the chance for a few lingering showers this morning following a cold front, but into the afternoon, a lot of that rain will taper and more sunshine will appear across the region. Into the night, expect mostly clear skies as high pressure builds. It'll set us up for a nice day on Friday. High temperatures will reach the 70s, 80s, and 90s this afternoon. Then overnight, temperatures will drop to the 50s, 60s, and 70s.
Good Thursday morning, meteorologist Michael Ehrenberg with a look at your southeast regional forecast for this Thursday. We'll have hot conditions out there, scattered showers and storms sprinkled throughout the southeastern U.S. here. The heat of the day sparking things up, and also a concentrated along the sea breezes of the Gulf Coast and Atlantic sea breeze in Florida up through coastal Georgia, South and North Carolina. Now, as you look west of the Atlanta area, fewer storms from Mississippi and Alabama with an upper level low spitting in that area. Highs upper 80s to lower to mid 90s.
You are watching the National Weather Desk.
We have been reporting on the persistent flooding across the Midwest this week. Now, one side effect from all the wet weather is an explosion in mosquitoes. Emily Matesic is in Green Bay, Wisconsin with more.
We had so much rain that it provides an ideal environment for the mosquitoes to repopulate.
And with hot and wet conditions persisting, the mosquito issue won't be getting better anytime soon. Instead, it's going to get worse.
We expect that there's going to be another hatch here coming up shortly, probably closer to that 4th of July timeframe.
Standing water, whether in a culvert in front of your house or sitting in a downspout in the backyard, is a potential breeding ground for mosquitoes.
All it takes is a bottle cap for a mosquito female to lay 300 eggs and ruin somebody's night. So it's just a tiny amount. And if you can find that little bottle cap worth of water, go a long way.
People need to try and clear any standing water from their property. Doing so will help to eliminate spaces where mosquitoes can breed.
Tipped out that standing water. It's going to go great lengths to providing a better 4th of July experience for those homeowners that might have some standing water.
Taking care of yourself when you go outside is important too.
You can wear EPA registered bug repellent. You can wear long sleeve loose clothing. If you have children, you can also make sure that they're wearing loose covered clothing. You can also do things like when you go outside, putting nets on baby carriers or in playpens.
And while these steps won't completely eliminate the mosquito problem, they could help, as we're expecting these pesky bugs to be around for several more months.
Well, yesterday we showed you several pictures of shelf clouds from storms in the Midwest. People wanted to know how they form and why they happen before a storm. Meteorologist Evan Chikvera posted the answer to those questions on YouTube.
I look up, you see these clouds, and a lot of times people will take a look and go, man, what on earth is that? This is a shelf cloud, all right? So what we see typically with these, this is from Luann Latarte. This was in Bowling Green, Ohio yesterday, and we saw shelf clouds all across Ohio yesterday. What you'll get is on the lead edge of a strong thunderstorm, the cool air will come out. It'll bottom out. It'll go out ahead of the storm, and you'll get this almost horizontal rotation, this roll effect on the lead edge. When you see these clouds, know this. It's probably about to rain, and it's probably about to get windy. So shelf cloud, when you see something like that, Now you know.
In the summer months, the heat can make it hard to get outside and keep up with your workouts, that's for sure. Meteorologist David Glenn recently posted on Instagram about things you can do to make sure your outdoor summer workouts are safe and also rewarding.
First and foremost, hydrate, hydrate, hydrate before, during, and after. On a day before a workout, be sure you're hydrating necessary the amount of water your body needs so that when you're out and about in that heat, your body can regulate and keep you cool and keep water on your workout so you're keeping that flow going. Second of all, also plan the time of day you're going to have your workout. Probably best to run during the morning when that sun angle's not so high in the sky, but also during the evening hours. Now that we have that later evening daylight, the sun sets on the horizon, you can get a few more extra hours or so workout, not in that direct sunlight. But if you're like me, and you work late nights, you can't exactly do a morning workout. So I plan my workout. I try to plan a more shaded route, but if I am in the sun for some of those extended periods, I'm wearing lightweight, reflective clothing to reflect away the sunlight. So my body's not absorbing it. Therefore, I stay a little cooler. Same thing with a white, light-colored hat. It's reflecting it away. Also wear eye protection. I'm not doing this to look cool or anything. I'm doing this to limit the UV exposure to my eyes, and also it kind of reflects off the concrete as well. Helps improve your visibility so you can see your surroundings when you're running also. Don't worry that your pace is a little slower in the heat. That's fine. In fact, listen to your body. If you start to get tired out, take a break, sit down, take a walk, slow that pace down. It's absolutely okay. The whole key is to stay healthy, but also stay safe when it's this hot.
And the heat not only affects your workouts, but also your plants as well. Right now, hydrangeas are in bloom. In some areas, they are looking fabulous thanks to a warm winter and wet spring. Meteorologist Jeff Exline recently posted some tips on Instagram about how to keep them looking great all summer long.
Now, hydrangeas take the hydro part of their name seriously, so make sure you water them often in the warm summer months. If your hydrangeas start to wilt in the hot summer sun, just give them a good soaking. I soak my hydrangeas 10 minutes each plant every other day. And make sure you place the nozzle of your hose directly into the root of the plant. Know your variety of hydrangeas. These are called endless summer hydrangeas. And notice I have some that are blue and some are pink. If you'd like more blue hydrangeas, you're going to need to add more acid to your soil. If you'd like more pink colors, then you're going to have to add lime to the soil. One more little tip on growing hydrangeas. Don't prune these late in the summer or early in the fall like you do the rest of your gardens. You could actually harm next year's bloom. So you want to prune these as we head into the springtime, especially after our last frost next spring.
As we mentioned earlier, rip currents pose a risk for anyone heading to the beach trying to keep cool. Several people have already drowned due to rip currents this summer, but there are more hazards you need to be prepared for if you have any type of coastal plans. Emily Gracie sat down with the water expert, safety expert, to learn about a danger looking even closer to the shore.
The swash zone area, which is the area from where the water washes up onto the sand and then recedes back to the next breaking wave. Now, that swash zone is so dynamic and impacted by the pressure of the waves, the water coming up and receding back.
So swash zone is probably something people aren't really familiar with. Can you take me through what's happening there?
Often you'll hear people refer to the impact zone, and that's where the waves are, the swell is coming into breaking surf, and it's where the water is just pounding down, impacting a swimmer. 3 to 4 foot surf, or even 2 to 3 foot surf, depending on the size of the person. That amount of water impacting someone and then receding can take them off their feet really quickly and then roll them and tumble them into the next breaking wave.
There's this kind of other factor of what happens if your head goes down first and it hits a rock? There's a lot of factors out there that could do harm other than just drowning, right?
Yeah, and I think that we hear a lot about the fatal drownings. There are both fatal and non-fatal drownings, and there are also significant traumatic, life-changing injuries that can happen in that surf zone. One of the injuries that lifeguards practice for the most is spinal cord injuries. How to rescue someone when the mechanism of injury with breaking waves and maybe shallow water or sandbars may have caused a neck or spinal fracture that we now need to stabilize and make sure that nothing gets any worse.
Take a minute. Take a
Take
breather.
10 or 15 minutes. Take 10 or 15 minutes. Yes.
Think
Yeah.
before you do anything. It sounds like is your advice.
Watch the water for 10 or 15 minutes from a safe area. And if you find yourself in a situation where someone's in trouble or you are, take 10. Make the next right decision, protect yourself, and help save others.
And time now for a short break, but first we take in views of New York City.
Well, a very good Thursday morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Andrew Buck-Michael. Got some thunderstorms starting to move their way into the plains for the day today, and the rain that we had across the Ohio Valley yesterday has moved out of here, but the rain's going to be moving its way slowly back to the east as we go through the day on Friday, and even more so on Saturday. So we'll continue to watch those thunderstorms slowly drifting their way back to the Ohio Valley and Great Lakes by the start of the weekend, and it's going to be a little warm for a lot of us, especially to the south with some 90s.
Good Thursday morning to you. I'm meteorologist Chris Suchan. Look at our forecast today across the region, starting off with the muggy 70s and 80s. The afternoon, we'll have the heat, the humidity, chance for a shower storm near the Gulf Coast. Otherwise, really not much across the region. May get a stronger storm or two, Oklahoma and the tip of the Texas Panhandle. Friday's forecast, mostly to partly sunny, hot, humid day, slight rain chance near the Gulf Coast. Next weather maker ahead will be the weekend into next week. A big kick of Saharan dust ready to move in.
Good morning. I'm meteorologist Rebecca Stevenson. Here's what's happening across the West. We've got some downright hot and excessive heat warnings, advisories in place across South California and into Arizona. Triple-digit heat. It's extremely hot here. It has been for a few days, and this is just helping fuel daily showers and thunderstorms coming from monsoonal moisture up into the Four Corners. We're really concerned about flash flooding, especially in the higher hills and mountains all through Colorado. That's the scene from here.
The National Weather Desk.
The Climate Prediction Center shows a risk of flash drought for portions of the U.S. in early July. Meteorologist Taylor Canoose explains flash drought and who will be impacted.
You've likely heard of flash flooding before, but have you ever heard of flash drought? Basically what it is a rapid onset or intensification of drought that happens when you have lower than average rainfall combined with abnormally warm temperatures, high winds, or a lot of radiation or a lot of sunshine. When you combine those factors together, you can go from conditions that are just fine to quickly developing drought conditions. That's exactly what's been happening in much of the southeast United States over the past several weeks. Abnormally dry weather this month of June, and a new product from the Climate Prediction Center highlights the potential of flash drought developing in early July for everyone highlighted in this brown and yellow color. That includes much of the Carolinas down toward Georgia and North Florida. There could be some pockets of rain in those locations, but heavy rain is not expected over the next couple of weeks.
And if you're looking for more great weather content, be sure to check us out on social media where we post the latest content from our team of 200 meteorologists across the country. Just search the National Weather Desk. We'll be right back. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Angela Brown. Make it a great Thursday, and I'll see you right back here tomorrow.